Hello there, strugglers. I have got to talk to you about what my friend Londo did for me yesterday. He got me very excited. Londo got me excited. Let's get our minds on track, not that kind of excited. He had an idea. His idea is to go after the media and the press that cover these conventions every year. Now, regional conventions every year. International conventions this year. This is July of 2014, by the way. And these conventions, every year, what the witnesses do, or I should say what Watchtower does, is they have someone craftily writing press releases. Now, a press release is just like a little free advertisement. At the top, it'll say, for immediate release, and it's all capital letters. And then they will send out what they deem to be very newsworthy, and they will send this out to newspapers, to radio stations, television stations, hoping to get some free press. Now, Watchtower is very good at this. They are a well-oiled machine when it comes to setting up these regional conventions and international conventions. So Londo says, Londo, this is how he got me excited, okay? He says, why don't we get the word out to the press and try to give two sides to these stories that they run every summer about how the witnesses are coming. The witnesses are coming. Now, think about it. Virtually every single time there's a convention, the local news station will have a little 1 or 2 minute segment, and they'll stand up in front of, with their hand microphone, in front of the convention center or in front of whatever building and place it is, and they'll give a little generic spiel about how wonderful it is that the witnesses are coming. Long Beach, California did an article in one of their papers, I believe it was last year, talking about how witnesses to descend on Long Beach over the next, X number of weekends will bring $2 million into the city. So you see, now we're starting to figure it out. You see, money makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. Watchtower knows this. And remember, Watchtower negotiates special rates with the hotels and motels. Watchtower likes to throw their muscle and their weight, actually their followers, money around and say, our people will patronize your restaurants. How many witnesses cram themselves into Denny's and steakhouses and Mexican restaurants and all sorts of places, after the convention, right? Every evening. So Watchtower sends out these press releases and gets the newspapers, gets the TV stations to do these fun little puff pieces. A puff piece is just a little breezy throwaway news story trumpeting and announcing something without actually really giving any in-depth story or news behind it. So this is what happens virtually every single year in dozens and dozens of large cities across the country and indeed across the world. The Watchtower gets good press, positive press. I have to give the big Apostle Chick thumbs up that she does. Love you, Apostle Chick. Love that thumbs up that you do, and totally get what you mean when you do that. So here's the point. Londo, let's get back on track. Londo got me excited because he says, look, international convention is coming August 1st, 2nd, 3rd in Washington, D.C. That is the capital of the United States. A big deal. And they're pushing it. They're pushing it hard. Watchtower is going to have this paradise on earth for those few days. And they want the Washington Post and the Washington Times and whatever local affiliate television stations to pick up this great little slice of life story and do a puff piece on them. So here's what I said back to Londo. First of all, I said, okay, help me figure out who we need to contact. You know, there's some guy at a desk somewhere, and it'll be his job to cover this story, right? He probably did it last year, and he can copy and paste what he did the year before with just a few little tweaks, right? He can do that. The same little puff piece. Jehovah's Witnesses are descending, you know, and then just all he's got to do is change the dates and maybe make a phone call and interview, you know, Joe Blow elder that's representing, is in the press department, so that he can say some baloney like, Jehovah's Witnesses are dedicated to a global Bible educational work, and we spent 1.729 billion hours teaching people about God's Word, the Bible, and living by Bible standards. You know, so that's all that is ever said in these things, and then they're done. So Londo says, why don't we do more? And then he reminded me that last year, great organization, AWA, AAWA.co. If you don't know about AWA, go to them, talk to them, Advocates Against Watchtower Abuse, or something like that. The acronym's a little, you know, it's a little much to remember and say, but it's a good group of people, and I like AWA. I do things for them every once in a while. AWA, through my friend Richard Kelly, helped send a press release out last year and actually got a journalist, a real reporter, to do a fair and balanced report or article. Yes, the witnesses are coming, but then why not have the article say something like this? In the light of this event with the witnesses, sponsored by the Watchtower Society or Corporation, they are currently embroiled in lawsuits all over the world. In fact, just recently having paid off yet another lawsuit for a pedophile or for an abuse case. In the midst of human rights accusations or violations of human rights accusations, the witnesses will have their convention, and no doubt protesters and picketers will be there. See, that's another thing. How many of these articles ever mention that there's people out there holding up signs? Jehovah's Witnesses break up families. Did you know that? They do. Joe Sixpack, Joe Q Public needs to know that, and Jane Q Public, she needs to know it too. Jehovah's Witnesses break up families. Jehovah's Witnesses deny blood products to themselves and their family members, and sometimes it results in their deaths. Jehovah's Witnesses shun and ostracize people in violation of human rights that are given out and that are talked about in many, many countries, and is part of the United Nations Human Rights Charter. So why not send out a press release of our own? Or in my case, what I plan to do, because see, today is like, what is it, July 9th, I guess? The end of this month, I am going to call some of these news affiliates, TV stations in the Washington D.C. area. Beep, boop, 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 boop. I'm going to call them up, and I'm going to say, I'm a former Jehovah's Witness elder. I would like to know who it is that's covering the Jehovah's Witness convention, the little news blurb that you do every year. May I please speak to him or her? Thank you. Then I'll get the elevator music. I'll be put on hold. When I get this person, they're busy. I need to be brief. I need to be fluent. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to say to them, I would like to let you know that each year, thousands of members of the Jehovah's Witnesses die because of their deceptive policies, because of their harmful and damaging social control. Many ex-members commit suicide and kill themselves. They turn to drinking. They turn to drugs. They are ostracized. Their families are torn apart. Did you know that, Mr. Reporter, Ms. Journalist? Did you know that? I just wanted to mention it to you, and I would love to give you facts and figures and resources and citations if I could, or perhaps you could even give me an interview, because I would like to give the other side of the story. Did you get a press release from the Watchtower telling you about the convention? coming up August 1st through 3rd. Allow for response. You remember what that's from. So I'm going to ask them that. I'm going to get their response. Hopefully, I'm going to get somebody that's got a few pints of real journalist blood still flowing inside their reporter, journalist, writer bodies, and I want them to tell the other side. Now, what if you did that in your local area? What if I did that in my local area? What if we all did that? Now, okay, look, maybe you're seeing this video after the fact, and now it's 2015 or it's, it's 2016, whatever. Every year when they have these regional conventions, you can do it every summer. I can do it every summer. I think it can bear fruit. It's worth a try. Let's do it. And let's fight the Watchtower power. Let's make a difference and see if we can let some journalists out there tell both sides of the story.
The order is rapidly fading, for the times they are a-changing.